August 10, 1678. In the historic city of Nijmegen, located in the United Provinces, diplomats from across Europe gathered to sign a monumental series of peace accords. The Treaty of Nijmegen effectively brought an end to the brutal and exhausting Franco-Dutch War, a conflict that had ravaged the continent for 6 bloody years. For Louis XIV, the legendary Sun King of France, this day was not just a cessation of hostilities, it was a magnificent diplomatic triumph that solidified his realm as the absolute dominant superpower in Europe. By outmaneuvering his rivals both on the battlefield and at the negotiating table, Louis XIV achieved what many thought impossible. This chapter explores how this treaty fundamentally reshaped the borders of the continent, giving France significant new territories in Franche-Comté and the Spanish Netherlands. These acquisitions secured France's vulnerable northern and eastern frontiers while fueling the grand imperial ambitions of the Bourbon dynasty to project unmatched power across the globe. Truly understand why the Treaty of Nijmegen was such a watershed moment, we must analyze why the Franco-Dutch War erupted in the first place. This chapter explores the intense commercial, economic, and political rivalry between the fiercely independent Dutch Republic and the expanding French monarchy. Under the leadership of Grand Pensionary Johan de Witt and later William III of Orange, the Dutch Republic had grown into a global maritime empire, dominating international trade. This economic supremacy drew the ire of Louis XIV and his brilliant finance minister, Jean-Baptiste Colbert, who viewed Dutch trade wealth as a direct threat to French dominance. When the French armies crossed the Rhine in 1672, a year the Dutch still remember as the Rampjaar, or disaster year, it triggered a massive continental escalation. Spain, the Holy Roman Empire, and Denmark threw their support behind the Dutch to prevent total French hegemony. Therefore, the negotiations at Nijmegen were incredibly complex, as they had to reconfigure the fragile balance of power across Europe, balancing French territorial demands against the survival of the Dutch state and the interests of the Habsburg powers.
The signing of the peace at Nijmegen marked the absolute peak of Louis XIV's geopolitical influence and prestige. With his enemies divided and Spain forced to cede valuable border fortresses, France established an era of unparalleled supremacy. We must discuss how these specific territorial gains changed the face of European warfare. The treaty allowed the genius French military engineer, the Marquis de Vauban, to construct his famous Pré Carré, a double line of sophisticated fortresses that made France virtually impenetrable to foreign invasion for generations. However, this supremacy came with a heavy long-term price. The aggressiveness of the Sun King's expansion during and after 1678 deeply alarmed the rest of Europe. Instead of guaranteeing permanent stability, the terms of Nijmegen sowed the seeds of bitter resentment. It defined a French military dominance that would persist for decades, but it also united France's neighbors in a permanent state of fear, setting the stage for even larger, more destructive future conflicts, such as the 9 Years' War and the War of the Spanish Succession.
Ultimately, the Treaty of Nijmegen remains a fascinating and essential study in early modern diplomacy, statecraft, and the ruthless pursuit of national interest. It shows us how treaties of the past were rarely just about stopping a war, but were instead calculated tools used to redraw maps and secure future strategic advantages. As we reflect on the shifting borders of 17th century Europe and the apex of the Sun King's reign, we are left with a fundamental question regarding the nature of geopolitics. How do you assess the role of forced territorial concessions in maintaining long-term international peace? Do they truly create stability, or do they merely act as a temporary pause before the next inevitable conflict begins? We want to hear your analytical perspectives. Let us know your thoughts and insights in the comments section below. If you found this deep dive into historical diplomacy valuable, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the grand history that shaped our world. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in our next historical episode.